Welcome to Esoteric Show.
You still feel the pain of that coin hockey badass jamming his thumb up my butthole.
Turning and turning in the widening journey. The falcon cannot hear the falconer.
As always,
Things
follow the
fall
plan.
apart.
You've
The
been saying
center
the same
cannot
shit
hold.
again and again for like 15
Humanity is loosed
We don't
upon
have
the
any
world.
cow porn in our Discord.
Like a dim tide is loosed.
You're probably a nihilist.
And everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned.
My dick is 8
The
inches.
best lack all conviction. While the worst the most passionate intensity.
Kino, I got your Kino right here in your ass.
Well, you're a fucking pedophile, so like maybe an atheist or a Christian would look at this and say, well, you're just a rapist. Pride is born of good works, positive qualities, and successful results. And we will plant that right between Beardson's legs.
You don't want to get into a dick measuring competition with me.
Whoa! Worski's in love with the Coco! He's in love with the Coco! Tartsky's back on the Coco! He's blowing it up his nose. Making me look fucked up. Went to bat for the motherfucker. Gave Godwinson a huge dub. Gave Ethan Ralph a huge dub. Worski's back on the Coco.
Adored by millennials. But America First is the prequels. Bold, unconventional, energetic, and autistic.
What a
And
take
turning
from
point
this
is the
guy.
rise of
This is
Skywalker. On top of their hardline
he is the
beliefs, they follow
prequels.
their predecessors, the alt-right, by dipping their toes into the two areas that most
fucking Nick is
mainstream conservative
autistic.
political commentators
He's an
leave alone.
artist.
America First has fine-tuned the amount you can dip into the far right while still maintaining a palatable face. It's kind of
So it starts with, I think, Godwinson saying the show sucks, and Andy Worski sucks, and PPP said, no, you're wrong. And then Andy Worski bent over, and people said he was doing coke. And then PPP did all these streams, but then Worski was like, no, it's just boxed wine. And now, apparently... apparently it's just, I guess, over for Kino Casino. I guess they're getting rid of Worski? I don't know if this is like... kayfabe.
Worski puts out an apology video. Within that apology video, amazing revelations, which we're going to unpack. And then subsequent to that, there's a tweet that comes out where he confirms that the show is back next week. Almonds are activated. What on earth are you thinking? PPP.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm here to address the allegations and the drama surrounding PPP and I right now. An update on that. Well, I feel really bad about this. A couple days ago, I was drinking on stream, and I was drinking even before the stream started, like an idiot, and I shouldn't be fucking doing that in the first place. But I had the box wine, and I had it like this. This one specifically.
Does he just have it sitting in a pile? Is there just a pile of cocaine sitting next to Andy Worski? Does he just flop his face into it and then pop out looking like flowers dripping off of him? Like from what I understand, doesn't he still live with his parents? Could you imagine? Hey, you're like, my son's an internet celebrity. He does this cute little podcast show. I'm gonna go in there and give him some cookies or something. You knock on the door. Hey, son, how's it going in there? And there he is in his Hawaiian shirt, hunched over, and a plate full of cocaine that probably costs as much as a house. While somebody talks about Nick Fuentes sucking dick is coming through full volume through the speakers, and you just slowly back away out the door. And then Andy pops up, he's like, whoa, Ashton!
Imagine being in the position, right? Kino Casino pay pigs. Where Andy Warski thinks he's mentally superior to you. Where he thinks an apology video like this, and a tweet like this, can pull the wool over your eyes and convince you of anything he says. Holy fucking shit. I won't be drinking on stream ever again. Now, screenshot this, do whatever you want, archive this, put this on a website, guys, chisel it onto the gravestone. I won't be drinking on stream ever again. X to doubt, folks. X to doubt. I want to see lots of X's. This is Andy Warski. But he's promising us he won't be drinking on stream ever.
Ashton, whoa! Medicare masochist for $482,000, and then he goes down for a bump. Signal boot for 22,847 cents. Whoa! And then he goes down for a bump. Did he think, like, if he said something and then immediately ducked down, people wouldn't notice he left? Andy, what are you doing?
He's just pointing out kind of like these retarded takes.
Adored by
Takes.
But America First is the...
That face! Ah, look at that face! Yeah! I did hear a sniff. Now, I don't know if that sniff was edited in, but it definitely is there.
He just, I don't know what it is, man. Like, his comedy, his style, everything. It's, like, just so out of touch and, like, lazy and sloppy. And the only people that really watch him are people that really don't like him, but they hate you more or whatever. You know what I mean? Like...
And then if he gets any success, he immediately gets even lazier and even dumber, which is like his fatal flaw. Because as soon as he gets any success, it's like, oh, Andy Warski, star of the show, back when he needs to be second fiddle at max. You know what I mean? Like, anything higher than that, and he gets some power over the show, the power over the direction. I said this the other day. Anytime that happens, shit goes. I don't even know if that was on air in an email to somebody. I was like, anytime this guy gets any power, any type of creative control, his shit goes immediately off the rails. The only time there was any exception to that was Twisted Minds had a decent run there for a minute, and that was because he was my fucking backup show.
You can hear him sniffing. I won't be lied to. I won't be made a fool like this. I won't be made a fool of like that in public so that Ralph can post on Twitter, Kokeski's back on the blow. Why? Because Godwinson shit-talked you? The chat called you Tardski? The chat says an awful lot of mean things about you. You hear me fucking spiraling at Jub the Nub out of fucking nowhere? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kino Casino number 35! It's the Halloween special! The whole world is buzzing! The whole sector is talking about the firing of Andy Warski! And we're all gonna get into it in a minute here. Is it kayfabe? Is it real? What the fuck is going on? Why isn't Warski here right now?
Andy's gone!
Why am I being joined by my new co-host, Jub the Nub? Huge promotion. Last week, just a mere chatter causing Warski to rage. This week, co-host on the show, Jub the Nub.
Jub the Nub.
There is a Groiper civil war in effect. Ladies and gentlemen, a Groiper civil war. It's Milo Yiannopoulos, the federal handler, the point man, against Laura Loomer, the Zionist Jew, endorsed somehow by the Mexican child leader of the white race, Ollie Alexander, pedophile, homosexual, former Karl Rove sex toys.
Former lover of Nick Fuentes.
Yes, former lover of Nick Fuentes. Meanwhile, a snake oil, con man, reptile, green goblin looking motherfucker is debating a literal fucking stroke victim retard on who's going to be a U.S. fucking senator? Will it be the snake oil shyster rhino?
Yeah.
Or the fucking brain damaged stroke victim that can't even speak sentences? And DSP has a big emergency. He's scamming motherfuckers for his car or a TV or who the fuck knows.
Who knows?
But it's a masterclass in grifting. Dark side Phil. All this and more on tonight's Kino Casino. Woo, Job. It's good to fucking be on the show.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
The audience is probably confused why a gay Jew is your new co-host.
I've hired a gay Jew as the new co-host, folks.
A gay Iranian hairdresser Jew to replace Andy.
We're owning the memes pretty hard here as a cope to begin with, but it's okay. It's okay, Jub. We're going to get through this together now. I just would like you to just let me go on here for a little bit. I'm going to talk about Andy and what's going on with Andy. And I just want to say off the bat that what I'm about to say, it's not to humiliate Andy. It's not to felt Andy or run Andy down or to any of that shit. I actually do consider Andy a friend. He's still my friend. I had dinner with him this week. We went bowling this week. And the decision about Andy being on this show and going forward is a decision that we came to together mutually. It's not a decision that I just made. Oh, I'm fucking firing Andy. Fuck Andy. He's a piece of shit. And I just want to point out to people that for most of you, including Godwinson, including my co-host Job the Nub, and all of you in chat, Andy is just pixels on a screen. You guys have never talked to him. You've never interacted with him in real life. You've never had a beer with him. You've never had any sort of relationship with him that's real. That wasn't just parasocial or some bullshit like that. I actually do care about Andy, and I want Andy to do well. And this is actually about Andy's well-being and about him being well. Because the reality of it is, folks, is that Andy has a fucking problem. And it's no secret to anybody that Andy's has an addictive personality, that he's had issues with cocaine in the past, issues with a lot of substances in the past. That's just the facts. That's just the way it is. And, Andy was doing, I thought, a lot better this year, leading up to the Salt Poppy fight. He really did cut back on drinking. There was, of course, we did the Super Show before the fight. Maybe wasn't the smartest decision. But that was a show where we're having fun, we're drinking, we're in control of the drinking, and we're having a really good time. There's a difference between that and getting on a substance to deal with trauma or issues or pain. And after the fight, Andy has admitted this publicly. He's been very embarrassed and humiliated by the loss to Salt Poppy. He said this week that it's going to probably haunt him till the day that he dies. He's come to me privately and said, listen, Ashton, since that fight, I've been drinking almost every day. And, he said that he was managing it, but in the last 3 weeks since we brought back the show, he's been under a lot of stress. People are very negative to Andy, that, constantly shitting on Andy, saying he fucking sucks, he's fucking terrible, he should kill himself, he's just a fucking monkey, he deserves to die, he's an addict, bringing up every past controversy, every past thing in his life, bringing up fucking the fight over and over and over again. And so Andy, has been drinking in order to fucking cope with it. And he has a serious fucking problem where for 3 weeks straight, he's been on a fucking bender. And it's to the point, and people are like, oh, well, just let him drink. Let a man have a drink. Well, that's one thing if you have control over it and you don't have an addictive personality and you're not using it as a crutch. He was using it as a crutch. And the thing with Godwinson coming back this week and shitting on Andy and, bringing up all this fucking shit about the show caused Andy to be so fucking stressed out. He was on a straight up 4-day fucking bender, he told me. Leading up into the show last week on the Rake Back. And, he fucking snapped. And he basically has had somewhat of a fucking nervous breakdown. And it's not just me saying that, he has a problem. He's admitted that he has a problem. His family has come to him and said, Andy, you have a problem. This needs to stop. And I, as his friend, am saying, Andy, you have a problem. It's time to stop. So, Andy has said, because I was like, Andy, we can't continue the show. I think you're doing cocaine. I think you're lying to me. I think this is fucked up. I confronted him. He said to me, no, I'm not doing cocaine. We went through, his bank detail. I didn't ask to do that. He volunteered that information. We went through, we saw, okay, he's not actually withdrawn large sums of cash. In fact, there were no cash withdrawals whatsoever in the last 3 months. So there's that.
What kind of evidence is that?
Well, it is what it is.
No cash withdrawals in the last 3 months.
This is what he's presented. Listen, there's, that
makes a lot of sense.
Messages. I didn't see any messages to a dealer or any phone calls or anything like that. I want to believe Andy. I consider him a good friend. But Andy has said, listen, I need to go get help. So he's enrolled in Alcoholics Anonymous. He's going to seek professional help. The show right now is a big stress for him. And, he needs to get healthy and he needs to get well before he can do this show. And the reality is that this sector is high pressure. People are not nice. And we dish out a lot of fucking abuse to people on this show. And you need to be able to take it and be okay. But I think right now for Andy, and he's agreed, it's not conducive to his recovery from his addictions to be dealing with the stress of this show. So for the present time, Andy is not a part of the show. That doesn't mean that I hate Andy, or I'm going to talk badly of Andy, or I think he's a motherfucker or a piece of shit. But it means that Andy needs to take some time, get himself clean. He started exercising again, going to the gym. I want him to go to the boxing gym again and get into that routine. And hopefully Andy at some point returns. But Andy needs to get clean. He needs to take time for himself. So we've hired Jub the Nub. His high-level
You want to do an actual introduction for me? Let's,
Your name is Jub the Nub. Listen,
the
so
Nub.
what ended up happening, so I was doing my Kino Cathedral stream. For those of you who are unaware, I have a solo channel where I just do my old phone streams like I used to do back in the day, this sort of thing. Jub the Nub was in the chat and he was begging to be unbanned on bended fucking knee.
Yeah.
Begging to be made a mod. Pigged $150 to be given a wrench in the chat. I gave him a wrench. He went mad with power, started fucking banning people, going fucking insane, power tripping. So I called him out on that. He pigged for the wrench, $150. Then he started shilling his Discord in the chat. It's very strange, saying he was clearing his name, sharing his Discord, this, that, and the other. Finally, he reached out. I reached out to him on Discord. I'm like, what's going on, Jub the Nub? Like, you're losing your fucking mind. And he's like, I just really want to be the co-host of the Kino Casino. That's what this is all about. This is why I was A-logging Worski from the beginning. So I said to Jub, I said, well, for $1,000, you can be the co-host.
$1,000 you could be the co-host.
Sent $1,000 over. And, so far, I think he's running OBS okay. Ladies and gentlemen, your co-host, Jub the Nub! Jub the Nub, everybody. Very exciting fucking stuff. Very, very exciting stuff. Oh,
do you think the audience will actually know, or you don't really care? Are we really going with this?
What are you talking about, Jub? I only speak the truth on this show.
Yeah.
This is all in good faith as the show. God, who is this?
Chat.
Who is this man? Let's ask. Who is this man?
What is the chat saying? I can't even see the chat, so you're going to have to translate the chat for me.
Don't worry. Is it Jub the Nub or a Jewish gay man?
A Jewish
You
gay
guys decide. Is he a fucking Jewish gay man? Is he Jub the Nub? Who is he really? Who is he really? Meanwhile, there's an imposter Jub the Nub in chat.
There's an imposter.
He's fucking losing his mind. Losing his fucking mind completely. But Jub the Nub has received 21% of the vote. Jewish gay man currently running at 79% of the vote. I think a lot of them know who you are.
Yes.
This is the famous PPP and Godwinson Capo.
Yes.
The leader of the writers' room, notorious open homosexual and Jewish Iranian man, Persip or Perspicacity.
Yes. Perspicacity.
I started calling him Persip. It's kind of
over 2 years ago now. Can you believe that?
Over 2 years ago now, since he first joined the fucking writers' room. There he is in prime time, folks.
Yes.
Up the nub. Excitement of this fucking
show. So if nobody knows, I've been working in the background doing helping PPP do the show now since the beginning. So it was only fitting that I join him on the actual show as the co-host, at least for the time being, and we'll see how it goes. But but I think it'll be good. Me and PPP are used to working together on the show. We have similar ideas. We both love politics. We both love similar topics. I think we both kind of agree that we want to take the show in a little bit of a different direction. So I think it'll be good. I think the audience will like the new direction. I think we're gonna maybe step a little bit away from just being Nick and Ralph coverage. Do a little more news. Do a little more.
No. The show can only be about Nick and fucking Ralph.
Do a little more, a little more diversification of the content, because how much Ralph and Nick can you really take,
Well, listen, apparently the viewers want that. That's what they want, and that's what they need.
Well, we have plenty tonight because there's been a lot of stuff going on.
Forever, every week until time fucking ends, the show will be about A-logging Ralph and Nick. Although tonight,
well, that's how you started out.
We're gonna have to hand out Ralph W's. We're gonna have to hand out a
Ralph did a lot of winning this week. We have to give Ralph all the credit in the world.
He got Roger fucking Stone on the kill stream. Oh no! What a disaster for the A-logs. He got to see his son.
The legend, Roger
Mr.
Stone.
Vickers was exposed again as a fucking psycho, dressing up Xander as a fucking corn cob. Ralph's first visit with him, which is fucking psychotic.
That is psychotic. That's the most psychotic thing I've ever heard.
Speaking of diversifying the show, though, I wanted to bring this in, and oftentimes on the show we haven't been super heavy on politics. I don't know how many of you have seen this so far. I think it's been a pretty big story.
Yeah,
a lot of political people are covering it, so this may not be the first time you've seen it. But this is the first time I've really paid attention to this campaign. So this is Dr. Oz. For those of you who are unaware, Dr. Oz was a TV doctor who was like a total charlatan, con artist, motherfucker, snake oil
Green
salesman,
Goblin, yeah, the Green Goblin.
Selling
Willem Dafoe
various
lookalike.
supplements. But like fucking middle-aged women watch him on the TV and fucking love Dr. Oz. The Republicans have decided to field like some celebrity candidates this year. They've got like Herschel Walker running in Georgia. They've got Dr. Oz running in Pennsylvania. And this is one of the most important Senate races that will determine the balance of power in the Senate.
Kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? That this is one of the most important races for a seat that's going to change the amount of votes that they need for a majority. And we have these two candidates. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? American politics.
One of these two is going to be a senator is fucking mind-blowing. fucking mind-blowing. Because Dr. Oz, reality TV show doctor, snake oil salesman. John Fetterman, on the other hand, he's an old union type guy, but he recently had a fucking stroke. So he's a recovering stroke victim. you're going to see that the man can't fucking speak at all.
He can't string two words together.
It's not like with Biden, like sometimes he's able to be somewhat understood or get lines. This guy is worse than Joe Biden. Is a literal stroke patient fucking retard mouth drooler to the point that I almost feel bad for him. His handlers have allowed him to agree to this debate. I wouldn't have let him do it. And it's fucking insane. I've never seen this before in all my life. They have this guy, he's requested like a teleprompter, like a live transcript of what his opponent is saying, because he's so stroked out that he can't in real time understand.
It's pretty tough, isn't it?
It's not an exaggeration. The motherfucker has a tumor on the back of his neck.
A goiter.
Anyway, we're going to get into this.
Yeah.
Let's start with the opening statements here. And you can just tell right away from these opening statements exactly how it's going to fucking go. Crazy. Make sure you share it to me so I can...
Hold on, I got it. There we go.
All right, let's bring this back to the beginning.
Play it.
And let's start it up.
With that, let's get started. Mr. Fetterman, we're going to begin with you. Your political experience includes serving as the mayor of Braddock, a small borough near Pittsburgh, and one term as lieutenant governor. You're running for a seat that could decide the balance of power in Washington. What qualifies you to be a U.S. Senator? You have 60 seconds.
Hi, good night, everybody. I'm running to serve Pennsylvania. He's running to use Pennsylvania. Here's a man that spent more than $20 million of his own money to try to buy that seat. I'm also having to talk about something called the Oz rule, that if he's on TV, he's lying. He did that during his career on his TV show. He's done that during his campaign about lying about our record here. And he's also lying probably during this debate. And let's also talk about the elephant in the room. I had a stroke. He's never let me forget that. And I might miss some words during this debate, push two words together, but it knocked me down. But I'm
I think everybody knows that you had a
This campaign
stroke.
is all about, to me, is about fighting for everyone in Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down, that needs to get back up, and fighting for all forgotten communities all across Pennsylvania that also got knocked down, that needs to get back up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fetterman. Mr. Oz, you are a doctor, a businessman, and television
You
personality.
want to pause?
But this is your first run
Or you
for
were
elected
just going to let
office.
it go?
What qualifies you to be a U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania? You have 60 seconds.
Okay.
I'm running for the U.S. Senate because Washington keeps getting it wrong with extreme positions.
Green Goblin.
I want to bring civility, balance, all the things that you want to see because you've been telling it to me on the campaign trail. And by doing that, we can bring us together in a way that has not been done of late. Democrats, Republicans talking to each other. John Fetterman takes everything to an extreme, and those extreme positions hurt us all. Let's take crime as an example because it's been such a big problem. Maureen Faulkner accompanied me today to the studio. You know that her husband was a police officer in Philadelphia, was brutally murdered. John Fetterman, during this crime wave, has been trying to get as many murderers convicted and sentenced to life in prison out of jail as possible, including people who are similar to the man who murdered her husband. He does it without with the rest of the parole board agreeing. He's doing it without the families on board. These radical positions extend beyond crime to wanting to legalize all drugs, to open the border, to raising our taxes. I want Washington to be civil again. We need it to be less radical. John Fetterman, unfortunately, would bring that.
Mr. Oz, thank you.
Okay. Where to fucking begin with this? Where to begin with it? First of all,
He wants to release all prisoners from jail. That's
it starts to get to the point where Dr. Oz is honestly just bullying a fucking retard. But fucking, this
Not
guy
yet.
starts off. Night, folks. That's how he fucking starts. It's totally it's a total fucking disaster. It's a total fucking clusterfuck. And the guy is like, I've had a stroke. They won't let me forget it. Well, we can clearly see by listening to you that you are a fucking stroke victim. You're either a stroke victim, which is very charitable, or you've just always been a complete fucking drooling retard. guy, nothing he's saying makes any fucking sense at all. He's like, well, I've had the stroke, so I might get a few words wrong. And that would be okay if it was like with Biden, he's just getting a few words wrong. Even with Biden, it's too fucking far. It's not just getting a few words wrong. It's getting all your words wrong. And the fact that we're actually in a position now where the most powerful country in the world's upper legislative body is being decided between this reality show doctor and
a stroke victim.
Literal stroke victim is just, it's a fucking tragedy.
One of the most important, one of the most important races in the country.
Holy
Isn't
fuck.
that incredible?
It's amazing.
This is what's going on in politics. This is our politics this year.
But listen, it gets worse because he's like this the whole fucking time. You think, oh, maybe he just botched the opening statement. Nah.
It gets so much worse.
Every fucking clip is like this. Every clip is like this. So let's go to the second clip here.
I will allow a 15.
So we're just going to skip. This is Fetterman's response to a question about him dodging taxes. This is right off the bat. And we're going to get an amazing response from Fetterman here.
I will allow a 15-second rebuttal. He has specifically said you have not paid your taxes and that you want to raise taxes on Americans. How do you respond?
Absolutely. The Oz rule, of course, he's lying. It was helping two students 17 years ago to help them, buy their own homes. They didn't pay the bills, and it got her paid, and it has never been an issue in any of the campaign before. It was all about nonprofit.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
It was about two students and they couldn't pay their bill. Like, it just doesn't even make any fucking sense, his answer to it. Whatsoever. I can't even believe that they fucking allowed this guy to come up on stage. Let's go to the next clip. Holy shit.
Let's go. Let's see.
Holy shit.
This is on fracking.
Fracking a stain.
Oh, this one's bad.
Are you ready for the fracking bill? He gets just raped live. And
the moderators just fucking ream into him.
This is when I really started to feel bad for this guy.
Yeah, because it's just not right to let him get up there. Like, it's just not. But
it's just a rape. It really makes it's almost upsetting.
He says that he would sign a moratorium to ban its continued use. He's against pipelines. He supported the vote against the Keystone pipeline that ended up shutting it down. He supports Biden's desire to ban fracking on public lands, which are our lands, all of our lands together. This is a extreme position on energy. If we unleashed our energy here in Pennsylvania, it would help everybody. Why John Fetterman is so rigidly stuck on fighting against energy companies is stunning to me, because it's the jobs I want. Tens of thousands of high-paying jobs to help Pennsylvanians.
Thank you, Mr. Oz.
Oz rule.
Mr. Fetterman, 15
I
seconds.
absolutely support fracking. In fact, I live across the street from a steel mill, and they were going to frack to create their own energy in order to make them more competitive. And I support that. Living closer to anybody else in Pennsylvania for fracking to myself. I believe that we need independence with energy, and I believe I've walked that line my entire career. I believe Democrats...
Mr. Fetterman, I do have a specific question which you can continue on this topic, but you have made two conflicting statements regarding fracking. In a 2018 interview, you said, quote, "I don't support fracking at all. I never have." But earlier this month, you told an interviewer, quote, "I support fracking. I support the energy independence that we should have here in the United States." So, Mr. Fetterman, please explain your changing position. 60 seconds.
I've always supported fracking, and I always believe that independence with our energy is critical, and we can't be held.
It's almost like a fucking 5-year-old caught in a lie.
I've always believed
that's what it is.
Energy independence.
Well, maybe he has two
critical,
personalities, and one was destroyed by the stroke. It's like hard to even tell what he's thinking about with this response.
Industry, but I support how critical it is that we produce our own energy and create energy independence.
I must correct the record.
Just a second, Mr. Oz. I do want to clarify something. You're saying tonight that you support fracking, that you've always supported fracking, but there is that 2018 interview that you said, quote, I don't support fracking at all. So how do you square the two?
I do support fracking.
Takes like 20 fucking seconds there.
I don't
just gather himself.
I support fracking, and I stand and I do support fracking.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Oh
Fetterman.
I'm sorry, Lisa, but there's not just a statement you read. There are multiple pictures of him signing a moratorium.
We have to move on.
But we have to get the fundamentals of the truth out here. John Fetterman over and over again took positions against energy.
We have a lot of topics. You will have
Moderator
a chance to
feels
have that
bad
information.
for Fetterman.
Yes, he's just like let it go.
Fear of John Fetterman. I want to know why.
On to the new
Mr. Oz,
topic.
we want to now turn to public safety.
That is fucking beyond the fucking pale. I've had to repeat this a few times, but how could they let him go out there? How could they let him go out there? They knew that this would be asked. They just didn't prep him at all. He had no fucking answer for the contradiction whatsoever.
It is a bizarre thing.
Seconds to respond.
And think about, like, fracking is a bizarre thing to, as a Democrat, running as a Democrat is a bizarre thing to change your mind on in 2022.
No, it makes sense as to why he's changed his position on it, because so many people in Pennsylvania rely on fracking to fucking survive. That's their job, is that they work in that field in natural gas. So if you fucking don't support fracking, you're going to lose a lot of blue-collar votes, and a lot of union workers work in fracking, and he's trying to appeal to his union base.
Wow, I get that. But, Biden doesn't, you're trying to get money from the Democratic Party. Maybe they could put an implant in your brain where they're going to pay,
It's obvious that on the federal level, this guy's not going to be fucking voting in favor of fracking.
Yeah.
He might. The reality of this guy is it's even worse than Biden. It's just so clear that he's just going to vote however he's fucking told. And that's basically the campaign that they're running. This guy will vote however the fuck
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
it's a safe fucking vote. You can't let Trump win. And honestly, he's probably still somehow going to find a fucking way to win this fucking race.
You think he's going to beat Dr. Oz?
I would not be shocked one bit. I would not be shocked.
Pennsylvania is a swing state, so I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Oz won. It's really kind of hard to say. This is a real... I just can't see how anybody's going to vote for this guy who's just a stroke 50. He can barely string a sentence together.
Well, somehow 85 million people voted for Joe Biden. Jump the nub. So he's the most popular president in American history. He got more votes than Obama, so I will not be shocked one bit when this motherfucker wins at all. People will just vote for whatever.
Well,
has
Biden had the ice cream
name.
cone. If you put an ice cream cone in his hand and you put him up there and you have him do a cutesy story, maybe it'll work out. I don't know.
All right, let's go to the next clip.
Specifically on the issue of student loan debt, which Mr. Oz was referring to. Mr. Fetterman.
Again, Dr. Oz, loves free money when it's a $500,000 tax break on one of his, homes down in a ranch.
At least
Florida.
Ashton knows
And
to turn his camera off when he does a
tax
line.
break, about his
He needs some
farm
energy over
in
there.
Montgomery County. So it's about supporting and helping, young earners. Young students to give them a break. I believe that supporting.
All right, let me just ask specifically with the plan to ease student loan debt, the debt forgiveness of $10,000, $20,000 for Pell Grant recipients. Do you support that position?
I do absolutely support that. I believe, like I said, it's about helping young learners, be able to get a better start, getting off in the start of their life. And I do believe that, and I believe a majority of Americans support that as well, too.
Feeling energized there, buddy?
Young learners.
I'm feeling it, buddy.
Mr. Fetterman, I want to ask you the same question that I asked Mr. Oz, and what is your plan to bring down the cost of higher education long term? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't answer. He didn't answer the question whatsoever.
I did answer the question.
Mr. Oz, please give him a moment.
Fucking balls of Mr. Fetterman at this point in the debate.
that
Accuse
every
anyone of not answering
quality
any
public university education should be very affordable in every state. And I think that needs to be a significant investment, to make sure that anyone be able to afford to go to get a 4-degree university degree, at Penn State or at Pitt or any state schools, to make it much more affordable. And that means requiring a significant investment to make sure and create it affordable that every family can afford.
How exactly, Mr. Fetterman, do you propose doing that to make it more affordable?
I think he said affordable about 30 times.
No, I just believe, making it that much more, it costs too much, and I believe providing the resources to reduce the tuition to allow families to be able to afford it.
All right, we have a follow-up question. This one now is for both of you. This is from News Nation viewer Ann Andrews, a registered nurse from Conneautville near Erie. Ann is a vocational educational instructor for a university and a practicing registered nurse.
If you were elected, could you please...
Oh.
All right, well, there we go. There was the fucking answer on healthcare. I just want people to grasp how fucking shitty this performance was. It wasn't just one flub or one fuck up or one brain fart. It's just over and over and over and over and over again. It's the worst fucking.
It was crazy.
I've ever
Then things
seen.
really, after this clip, things really take a turn that is just bizarre with this story. Now, the next clip is the story of
It just
how
comes completely out of nowhere.
that
Completely out of nowhere.
yeah, this guy apparently held an unarmed black man at gunpoint. So maybe this will actually get him some votes with the blue collar workers, that he did a little frontier justice and chased this unarmed black man down and held him at gunpoint to arrest him as a mayor, not even as a law enforcement official, just as the mayor. Are you ready for this clip?
Let's go.
I have tremendous confidence in the American legal system, and I believe law and order will reign supreme. But speaking about that topic, there's one person on this stage who's broken the law, we believe. John Fetterman took a shotgun, chased an unarmed African-American man, and put the gun, apparently, according to that man, to his chest. John, you weren't pulled over by the police. They let you go. You were the mayor at the time. Why haven't you apologized to that unarmed, innocent black man who you put a shotgun to his chest?
All right, we will allow.
I actually
30
really would like to know what this full story fucking is.
Well, leave it to the Green Goblin to pull this out of his pocket, right? This insane story.
But it's just so cruel. You're literally debating a fucking stroke victim who's just helpless. He just has no way of fighting back whatsoever.
Right.
And you just come at him with something that's so fucking insane. It just sounds like he's making it up.
Right.
So, yeah, well, you were mayor. You pulled out a shotgun and put it to an unarmed black man's head.
Apologize to the unarmed black man.
Apologize for being a racist and
You're
a
a
piece of
racist
shit.
bigot.
It's just amazing. Just watch how he responds to this. This is so good.
Oh my God.
Second response to that, Mr. Fetterman, specifically what he was saying, referring to the incident in Braddock.
I made the opportunity to defend our community as the chief law enforcement officer there. Everybody in Braddock, an overwhelmingly majority community.
This is how he's going to win the election.
Community all understood what happened. They understood what happened, and everybody agreed that, and nobody believes that it was anything about me making a split-second decision to defend our community as well.
Why not apologize?
Mr. Oz, please. We are still with Mr. Fetterman. Turning to you right now, you support a Biden run. Do you support a Biden run in 2024? Why in 60 seconds?
That's honestly, it's up to his choice whether he, and if he does choose to run, I would absolutely support him. But ultimately, that's ultimately only his choice.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fetterman. A follow-up question on this. Our Next Star poll shows 51% of Pennsylvania voters disapprove of the president's job performance. You have publicly supported many of his policy positions. Are there any that you disagree with? 30 seconds.
It's just short-circuited his brain.
No, I just believe he needs to do more about supporting and fighting about it.
Still thinking about holding that unarmed black man.
I do believe he can do more about that. But at the end of the day, I think Joe Biden is a good family man, and I believe he stands for the union way of life. And I believe that unemployment is already down to the lowest level in the last 50 years.
All right,
What?
thank you, gentlemen. Dennis.
I mean, that's
Turn now,
honest. Like,
gentlemen,
that's
to
just
the
so
issue of Social
fucking like,
Security. It is only
piece of,
fully
like fucking broken brain. What do you
Did he just
disagree
say
with Joe
unemployment
Biden
is
on?
at the lowest level it's ever been in
Well,
50
it is
years?
because everybody. Well, they've cooked the books. I think that that's actually legitimate. That it really is at the lowest level in 50 years, according to the statistics. That's because everybody has dropped out of the labor force. Nobody's fucking looking for a job. They've all just fucking given
They've
up.
all given
because
up,
there's
yeah.
no opportunity. So it's like, oh yeah, well, unemployment's at like 4.6%. Their lowest level in 50. It's because nobody's fucking looking for a job. But they've cooked the books on unemployment for fucking years. But that was just the most telling answer in the whole fucking thing to me. What do you disagree with Joe Biden on? It was like, does not compute, do
It
not
does not
understand,
compute.
don't fucking get it. Just could not think of it as, well, I think he could be fighting more for this. It's like, how? And that's the whole thing is like, he'll say like, I support this or my position is that, but he never, ever, ever explains how he would do any of this shit. It's just shameful. It's fucking embarrassing. And it's just
And do you notice
he's still
how
going to win the race.
Do you notice how those news anchors immediately pivoted into a completely different story and tried to just get off the topic of this unarmed black man being held at gunpoint? That was just bizarre. I didn't even realize that the first one I clipped this, that they just literally didn't even react to that question. They were just like, okay, moving on. Let's talk about something else.
Moving along. All right.
What's
Any
the
more
next
clips
one?
on this?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of clips. If you want to keep going, we could keep going. What do you want to do, or do you want to?
Let me just have one.
Is
quick
chat
look
still engaged
here.
with this? Is chat
Just-
enjoying this?
Oh, well, you know, the chat's fucking losing their fucking minds, saying we need to fire you, saying that this is the kill stream, it's boring as fuck, they don't want normie politics. Listen, the reality is no matter what the segment was at this point, they would be saying that.
Well, that's true.
Let's go to the closing statement here. Let's
Okay.
just see how it all wrapped up, because I think
All right,
we've got
at
the
this
gist of
time,
it now.
All right.
All right, at this time, we are ready for our closing statements. You each have 90 seconds to convince Pennsylvanians to vote for you on Election Day. Mr. Fetterman, you are first, 90 seconds.
Once again, I would just like to say that my campaign is all about fighting for anyone in Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down, that had to get back up again. You know, I'm also fighting for any forgotten community all across Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down, that had to be made to get back up. You know, I've made my entire career dedicating to those kinds of pursuits. I started as a GED instructor back in Braddock over 20 years ago because I believe it's about serving Pennsylvania, not about using Pennsylvania for their own end interests as well. To me, careers are revealed by your real underlying values. And my values have always been about fighting for forgotten communities all across Pennsylvania.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fetterman. Mr. Oz, your final thoughts, 90 seconds.
I've loved traveling to the four corners of the beautiful Commonwealth, and I've heard your problems. I'm a surgeon, doctor. I listen to what you say, and I'm trying to help address them today. I've talked to seniors worried their Social Security checks wouldn't go far enough with the raging inflation. I've talked to couples want to make their first down payment on a new house and they can't afford it anymore because of interest rates. I've talked to families.
You want to cut
petrified.
Social Security.
Mr. Fetterman, it's his turn for his closing.
Like a fucking
I've
cranky
talked to
old
families
man.
worried about fentanyl.
It's like
showing up
got
in their loan
dementia.
boxes.
Dementia, yeah.
Literally taking the lives of their children who they find blue in bed. I've talked to families who won't let their kids go outside because of the crime wave that's been facilitated by left radical policies like the ones John Fetterman has been advocating for. But here's the thing, right? None of this has to happen. This is all very addressable. I'm a surgeon. I'm not a politician. We take big problems, we focus on them, and we fix them. We do it by uniting, by coming together, not dividing. And by doing that, we can get ahead. But I've got one question to challenge you with, just one question. If you take what I'm saying to heart, ask yourself this and others in your family. Are you unhappy with where America's headed? I am. And if you are as well, then I'm the candidate for change. I'm a living embodiment of the American dream. I believe we're the land of opportunity, the land of plenty. I believe we can balance a budget without recklessly spending. I believe we can have an unleashed energy policy that helps us all. I believe that we can have safe city streets and a secure
Such
border
a
so
fucking
legal immigrants can come across, but you
politician.
shut the fentanyl out. I believe
Thing
we give
is,
parents choice.
The whole
the way their kids go
failure
to
of the
school, we can
Dr.
afford
Oz
healthcare. But
campaign
most of all,
to me
I believe in you. And
is that
and if
he's
you can do this
supposed to
together,
be
and we can,
an
I would ask for your
outsider,
vote
like
on
a
election
reality
day. God bless
TV
you.
show
We do have
type
one
fucking
final
guy,
question, important
right?
issue in Pennsylvania.
Supposed to be the
eyes of
voice of
state
the
are on this
people.
debate
He's supposed
tonight,
to
but
be
on Sunday
channeling
they will be on
Trump.
Lincoln Financial Field
He
in
just
Philadelphia as the
sounds like a
state's two
typical
NFL teams
slimy
go head-to-head.
politician.
Mr. Fetterman,
He just
Steelers
looks
or
like
Eagles,
such a
and why?
sleazebag rat bastard. It just all falls apart for me.
Yeah.
Clearly, always for the Steelers.
Mr. Oz.
I'll be at the game rooting for my Eagles.
That's just fucking crazy too. Like, it took fucking Buddy like 10 seconds there too.
Yeah.
To realize
It's pretty tough.
what he was talking about with the fucking football game. And voters are gonna look at that and go, what the fuck? I don't know, maybe people will feel sympathy for Mr. Fetterman, that he's just so fucked up and so retarded and crippled by this stroke, and they'll vote for him anyway. Or maybe they'll just be so turned off by Dr. Oz's fucking sleaziness,
Yeah.
his overall sliminess. But what you basically got here is a con artist taking advantage of a tard. Very applicable to what's going on right now.
Well, they'll try
Holy
to
fuck.
connect him real strong with Trump, and then divide the vote on Trump.
During it, he was asked. We didn't play the clip, but what's the Dr. Oz was asked, "Would you support Trump in 2024?" And he was like trying to get away from saying that he would support Trump in 2024. And then they pressed him on it because they knew that if you don't say that you're going to be loyal to Trump, Trump is going to come out and fucking blast you for being disloyal and being a piece of shit or whatever. And Dr. Oz has Trump's endorsement and all this. Then Dr. Oz said, oh yes, I would support Trump in 2024 if he was the nominee. But it's not just about one person. It's about seeing where the party needs to go in the future. So he was kind of non-committal on that as well. But I really thought that this was quite the fucking spectacle. Quite the thing to fucking see. I know a lot of people have already seen this, but for those people who aren't so tuned in to the political side of things, I just thought it's fucking funny. To see this guy struggle that hard, and to see the sliminess of Dr. Oz and him just attacking this helpless tard, and just sliming him, just fucking the dirtiest, like, you held a gun to a black man's fucking head, piece of shit. But a lot of people in chat didn't fucking like this segment. Perhaps like the next segment with Jub the Nub riding shotgun here.
Jub the Nub.
Let's pull this up here.
Where do you want to go, Milo? Oh, wait.
Oh, let's go to Milo Yiannopoulos here. I want to give them a quick precursor to this. Oh, all right. So basically, what's going on? All right, just fucking play it. Fuck it.
You want to play it, or you want to give a little intro?
Just play it.
Play it.
Extremely problematic. I'll send you the screenshots right now.
Yeah, send them to me. I have I won't name who it is. Good a friend of mine, I'll say for a descriptor, who just messaged me some wild accusations. I guess that was being circulated against you. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't even want to repeat them on air because some of them are kind of
No, the accusations honestly are disgusting. I mean,
right? That's you know what I'm talking about. Then, yeah.
Calling me crazy, calling me mentally ill. Saying that I'm like a sexual predator.
Right.
I mean, these are crazy accusations that are just so beyond the pale ridiculous. And I just think it's so funny because I'd always been a very loyal friend to Milo. He had no problem staying at my home for extended periods of time, had no problem borrowing money from me when he was broke at periods of time in his life. And just to be stabbed in the back by somebody who you had always been so loyal to. And of course, that's how he now has his current job working with her as well. They met on my previous campaign. And so I think that it needs to come out in the open because people need to understand and people need to know that there are people in our own movement who are working behind the scenes to sabotage these successful campaigns of America First candidates.
Okay, so I just want to go in on this. So what's happened this week is Laura Loomer's joined Cozy.
Right.
Ali Alexander has joined Cozy.
Roger Stone
has been brought in. So it's a real act of desperation, because if you look at Cozy.tv, earlier today, I think Dalton Clodfelter was doing 69 viewers. Baked Alaska was doing 120 viewers. We know about the multiplier. We know that the viewership numbers are probably even lower, those motherfuckers, than those paltry results.
Yeah.
Most of the time you go on Cozy during the afternoon, and there's not even 500 people between all the streams. Let's be frank, sometimes it's not even 200 people.
Sometimes it's not even two.
Like 30
yeah, like
people
100.
on Alex Jones, 20 on Jesse Lee Peterson, 18 on Lo-Fi. So they're fucking desperate to bring fucking people in, anybody that could bring in any sort of audience, that could be any sort of draw. So they've brought in this motley crew. Ali Alexander, who's a fucking pedophile and a fucking weirdo, and we're gonna get into all of that fucking shit here after we go through these clips. Laura Loomer, the Zionist Jew, that Nick Fuentes threw away a ton of credibility in the eyes of a lot of people by endorsing a Zionist Jewish woman when his whole platform is anti-Zionism, anti-Israel, and anti-woman. He brings her aboard.
Well, that's their only candidate.
After she lost, after she fucking failed, and is a total embarrassment and a joke. And Roger Stone, who's like, I think streaming to like 40 or 50, he's not a massive draw. However, he is a big name, and I think it is a W for Ralph to interview him, and for America First to have somebody with the credibility of Roger Stone on their platform, a guy who's been in a number of administrations and things like that. But because they brought these people in, they don't like Milo, and Milo doesn't fucking like them. And Milo has been the guy that's been getting Fuentes, Marjorie Taylor Greene for AFPAC, bringing in these special guests, using his connections to pull the strings. In the meantime, he's been influencing the direction of the Groyper movement, talking points, all this sort of thing. So we're now coming into this conflict between this new group of people that's come on, Laura Loomer and her crew, and the Milo Yiannopoulos crew and his influence. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in this power struggle. Who's going to be left out in the cold? Who's Nick going to side with? Because with these motherfuckers, the drama never ends. There always has to be a new, fresh drama to try and keep people's eyeballs on it. So we're going to see, but let's go through some of these clips, because it's very interesting. A lot of people nobody's really talking about this.
Nobody's talking about it. And, Roger Stone says he's the most persecuted man in America next to Laura Loomer. And you wonder how Roger Stone gets involved with Laura Loomer. Does that make any sense to anybody? I don't know.
I had never really been a fan of Lauren Southern, but a broken clock is right twice a day, and I will say that she was attacked, right, originally by Milo, if you recall, because he accused her of working with the radical left, right? That's what he did this whole expose on her for. He said that Lauren Southern was working with the left and was betraying the trust of people in the America First or right-wing activist movement, and that she should be kicked out. Well, he did the same exact thing, and you can see the screenshot right there. He said that he was worried that if I got elected to Congress, that I was going to have some kind of Lindsay Lohan meltdown in public and go around saying that Marjorie was my best friend. First of all, I don't even call her. So that's what's so funny. It's just he constantly
By the way,
lies,
pause this.
right? He just
We're doing some pauses. There's only 11 seconds left. We may as well just kept playing it. But it's interesting to see here Milo in this telegram counter signal Nick so publicly, because Nick is so in favor of Marjorie Taylor Greene being elected to Congress. He went out there and he shilled for her on his show every fucking week. He was actually in Florida with her on the night of the election, clinking champagne glasses. He was with her in the back room as she was melting down and coping that the GOP stole the election from her. This, that, and the other. Nick has made it one of the pillars of his movement to get Laura Loomer elected, a Zionist Jewish woman. Here's Milo, the kind of guy behind the scenes that's connecting things for Nick, perhaps getting him financing from big donors. Certainly we know he was behind the scenes at AthPac coordinating the guests and all this sort of thing. You have this public departure from their positions. Milo completely counter-signaling this. Perhaps this is Milo beginning to distance himself from AF. Perhaps the orders from the federal handlers have changed. I just think it's very, very interesting. And for Laura Loomer as well to come on Ralph's show, which is the largest drawing show on Cozy, Let's Get Real. It's their real flagship program now, is the Kill Stream. And to counter-signal Milo publicly like this, it's very surprising. It's a shocking development, to say the least. I'm very interested to see where this goes. But let's finish up this clip and move to the next one.
So much about the extent of things. So, she had originally said that she was going to endorse my campaign and then said that she was going to wait to see what happened.
Talking about Marjorie Taylor. All right.
Text just so we can.
Got the clip?
Yeah, hold on.
You gotta download it.
Yeah, I got download.
Dead Air Casino there, folks. Up the Nubs not got the clips ready. A disaster there.
I got it.
All right, let's continue.
Just so we can get it on the record here, and then I'll give you a final thought there on this whole thing that I just kind of stumbled into. Milo, and this is kind of mild, like I said, compared to some of the stuff that my friend just told me. That
Ralph's mysterious friend.
Allegedly, again, I'm just the host. Allegedly circulating about Miss Loomer here. Milo, and of course, I have a long history with Milo as well. He's welcome to come on the show and give.
You got to wonder who this mysterious friend
Milo
is.
Says,
That's
my
not
worst
Milo.
nightmare is she has a full Lindsay Lohan meltdown in public in Congress for months and won't stop saying that Marjorie is her best friend, even though MTG won't take her cause. You pray for her. I've done enough of that for the past half decade. I will be making sure she gets nowhere near the Capitol. That's pretty solid statement there. And like I said, it seemed to be a not well-known among the public, but as soon as I started talking about it, I got several messages where it seemed like that had been, definitely been a topic of discussion
And
behind the scenes.
his favorite thing to do, right? Like his favorite thing to do where he says this, right? Like he loves calling me crazy. He loves going around telling people, oh, she's so crazy. Like she's so mental. Like she's mentally ill. Like you can't support her. She's mentally ill. She's a danger to people and herself. Like he loves saying that about me. And it's just not true. Obviously, I'm a very high functioning individual. And for him to go around saying things like that, it's completely false. And look, if it's his personal opinion, right? Oh, I think that she's crazy. Great. That's your personal opinion. You keep it to yourself, or you say that that's your personal opinion. But for him to go in these chats and to just, create these ridiculous lies about me and, say that I'm unstable and that there's so many problems with me and that I'm a danger to myself and others, it's just the most insane shit I've ever heard in my life.
Now, it's pretty wild. I have to say, we kind of stumbled into a big story here, and we'll see if he has any response to any of this.
Excitement of Ralph there as he stumbles into this big story. Kind of stumbled into a big
Who's
story.
the guy that Laura Loomer supposedly tried to rape? Do you remember that story? Do you remember who that was?
Laura Loomer raped somebody?
Yeah, there was a story where Laura Loomer tried to force herself on some guy, which keeps being referenced over and over again. I wonder. I don't know who it is, but apparently Milo is like heavily focused on it. This was from years ago. You don't remember the story? Where Laura Loomer tried to force herself on a man? Maybe the chat remembers it. Keep an eye on the chat. I don't know. The chat is doesn't want to murder us. I love you, chat. I kept my promise. Everybody's unbanned at least.
Before the blogosphere was professionalized, before there was a single influencer.
Okay, this is Ali Alexander has now joined the call. And This is him.
Gay pedophile that once again has somehow
gay
wormed his
pedophile.
fucking way in.
I don't know if he's a pedophile, but that's Milo alleges he's a pedophile.
He reached out to Lance Videos. We'll get into it here. When Lance Videos was 17 years old,
Yeah.
and was asking for dick pics in his fucking DMs,
Yeah.
which is greasy as fuck. You know, even if he was of age, like I think it's fucked.
It is fucked.
It is fucked. It's fucking bad.
Allegedly.
And Nick brought him back into the fucking fold around Stop the Steal, and Jaden called it out as fucked up to bring in this fucking guy. And Nick said, "Well, we just have to put up with it, guys." Why? Why is Nick so desperate that he has to bring in the fucking like lowest level filth, sex pests and scum into a movement that's supposed to be about restoring the soul of America and bringing in a pure Catholic theocracy or a white ethno or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be, because it changes every fucking week. This latest Indian sex pest, Ali Akbar, who used to suck off fucking Karl Rove.
Yeah, when he was Ali Akbar before he was Ali Alexander.
Is a part of this fucking movement somehow. And he's here on Cozy TV, and everybody's supposed to platform. You know, back in the day, Beardson did a fucking stream exposing the guy as a fucking homosexual and a fucking pedophile. But, you know, that's lost to the sands of time. Beardson will now pretend like this motherfucker never did anything wrong.
Well, Beardson's sucking cock now.
Beardson's always sucking cock. I saw a clip here today where he's depressed again. Has there ever been a time when Beardson wasn't fucking depressed?
He's
I just
always
don't
depressed.
fucking know.
Yeah. And supposedly Ali Alexander is a former lover of Nick's when Nick was just a young man thrown out of college. So that's where the connection supposedly is. You ready to play the clip?
Yeah, let's go.
You know, when Twitter had just first gotten its start, so I've watched a lot of people come and go. Nick sometimes gets trolled for being my friend. I get trolled for for echoing or sharing some of Nick's beliefs and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, a lot of us move where we can find political agreement, where we can push our ideas forward and stuff like that. And what sucks is I've known Laura since she worked with James. I've known James O'Keefe, you know, since he did the Acorn sting. Okay, so I go back this far with these people. And what I'll say is that Laura's not lying. I hate that she's been maligned by someone who's also maligned me, who's also maligned other people in this movement. And what's shocking is that, you know, his accusations usually are rooted in something that he has actually done or he is accused of, oftentimes on film, text message. I mean, the evidence is all out there. Everyone knows it. The reason why most people don't deal with Milo is, who is Milo? Nobody knows who he is anymore. He doesn't have any fans. How can you have millions of fans and then everyone disappears? So, you know, I just think that Laura's courageous. She's doing what she's doing. You know, she's a Jew who doesn't have to associate with this movement. She's a Jew who wants an immigration moratorium.
Well, the reason she
could have cuffed up and begged Milo.
Let's pause it here because I want to talk. Ralph looks very nervous here, and you know that's because his loyalty really has always been to Milo. And now he's realizing he's going to have to choose. So you can see
Milo.
His Master Milo.
Either Master Milo or what's going to please Nick here.
Yeah.
Nick's just brought these people aboard. Nick's vouched for Laura Loomer. So he's having to choose between his two masters here. And it's fucking causing him to be freaked right the fuck out. But I gotta say, the reason he's like, oh, she's Jewish and she doesn't have to associate with us. Well, she does because she's burned every bridge that she had. None of the establishment wants her. Steve Bannon's people don't fucking want her. Everywhere on the right, she's just a toxic fucking brand. Nobody likes Laura Loomer because Laura Loomer is a fucking snake and a piece of shit. And she's just not very talented and she's a fucking psycho. She's down to her last fucking straws, her last grasping at straws, be a part of the America First movement. And, you know, that's why she's there. It's not that out of the goodness of her heart, she decided she needed to make a stand against Israel or a stand for white people. No, she's a fucking Zionist, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Very antithesis of the America First movement. She's Israel first. The whole thing is just a charade. It's just a fucking scam. Shameful.
When you put it like that, it almost makes me have like the tiniest bit of sympathy for Laura, that she's completely.
Look at her. She's like the Wicked Witch of the fucking West. Her whole fucking face is melted
she's completely boxed herself out of every other movement, and now she's got to throw in with Nick.
Well, she's botched her fucking face endlessly, the ugly fucking cunt. She was already an ugly bitch to fucking begin with. Let's be real, folks. She was never fucking attractive woman. The plastic surgery she's fucking done to herself.
It's not helped.
Just like Loomer version 6. And like Laura Loomer is how old? I always get shocked when I look up how old is Laura Loomer. And Laura Loomer is 29 years old.
It's tough to be
pushing
Laura.
on 49.
Yeah. It's tough
For
to be
fuck's
Laura.
sake! Oh my god! Holy shit! Anyway, let's keep playing.
Begged MTG, who I know Marjorie and I know Milo and I know Laura, and but if I had to pick the three, it would be Laura as our fighter. And so I appreciate that she's on the stream. I appreciate that she associates with Nick, America First, and she hasn't told one lie. If she was telling a lie, I'd call her out because I like to referee between friends and allies. But it's worse than everybody knows, but it's also irrelevant because nobody cares what Milo says. So it's kind of also super like, who gives a shit?
Well, listen, it's irrelevant.
Now, what do you think?
It's irrelevant to the broader masses.
Went in on you as well.
As to what Milo
what
fucking
is the genesis
says.
of that? She's
because Milo has no platform. Milo has no audience anymore. He went from being in 2017. The Beatles said they're bigger than Jesus. Well, Milo was on that fucking level. He was on every fucking show. He was on Bill Maher. He was being brought into CNN. He had the college tour. He had like millions and millions and millions of views. Everybody was taking Milo seriously. Then he fucking got caught defending like pedophilia and saying it could be a positive experience for gay men. Everybody fucking dropped him. He was toxic as fuck. And thank God that they fucking did, because Milo's a piece of shit. He really is.
We want Milo on the show. Milo, come on the show.
Story. It's never happening. That's
Milo, come on the show and give us why you hate Ali Alexander and Laura Loomer. I would have Milo.
You know what? I would have him on for that reason. I would. If he wanted to spill the dirt here, he is absolutely more than welcome to. But I don't think that that's going to fucking happen.
Listen, it's Milo. Listen, he's very... he could charm my pants. He could come on. He could charm the audience.
I'm saying that Milo's irrelevant. Nobody cares. It's true for the broader audience, but there's one person who does care, and that's Nick Fuentes.
Yes, that's true.
Nick Fuentes is the decision maker at Cozy, or it could be Milo. Maybe that's where the friction is coming here, is that Nick is going against Milo's orders. Milo said, don't bring in Laura Loomer. Don't fucking bring in Alexander.
That conversation definitely happened, right? I mean, this conversation definitely happened.
It definitely happened. Now there's this split, there's this fracture between Milo and Nick. And if Nick is to lose Milo as a contact, it does spell disaster for him being able to network, because Milo's true value, as I've said now, and I think he's almost actually more powerful now behind the scenes than he was back in the day in 2017, because he goes around and brokers deals with everybody in the right wing, between donors and streamers and lobbyists and guest speakers and all this sort of thing. And he has dirt on so many fucking people. People forget that he has the vault.
The hard
he showed
drive,
off on the kill stream. The hard drive of all the dirt on all these right-wing figures that were around in 2016, 17, 18. So Milo does have a lot of influence. And Ali Alexander has to be careful with what he says there, because Milo is going to be pushing hard to remove these people because of his personal vendettas against them and grudges. And so it's going to be interesting to see the friction between him and Nick and how it builds. Let's keep playing.
Seemingly didn't know why he would do that.
No, it's the craziest thing too. Okay, so when Milo got deplatformed, I was one of the few people. So when he gave that press conference where that's really where he destroyed his career. His response to kind of those. It was kind of a false accusation. Okay, what they did against Milo was wrong. Okay, that was Ben Shapiro. That was a bunch of, ethnic people out of New York, who did what they did to Milo. That part was wrong. But everyone who knew Milo knew that it was directionally true, knew that what Milo had talked about and bragged about, it wasn't just a life experience, it was a culture and a lifestyle, that people would say that he, participated in and stuff like that. But when he was going through that, I defended him. His billionaire donors, the Mercers, were also billionaire donors to me. And so, even though Milo and I weren't close and we weren't friends at the time, we'd shared mutual friends like Lucian Wintridge and all this other stuff. And I'm getting too much.
What a great mutual friend to have.
Yeah.
Lucian Wintridge, Twinks for Trump fame.
I stood by him. And there are very few people who stood by him. And we weren't even that close. And when he was out of money, I gave him $10,000. Okay, I've given the guy $10,000 because
I gave him a lot of money too and stood by him as well. I mean, he had called me and told me like shortly after he was banned everywhere that he was going to be homeless, right? And that he couldn't pay his bills and that he was going to go broke and that, he didn't have money for anything. And I gave him a few $1,000s.
This is all the Mercers' money anyway. I mean, they're just trading around all the Mercers' money
totally
between each other.
And deplatformed. But I was trying to be a good friend. And just like Ali had said, there were those of us who got pressured to
Does
not
anybody
associate
really
with
believe Laura Loomer was trying to be a good fucking friend to Milo Yiannopoulos? Well, obviously not. She viewed this as an investment, as did fucking
Milo was living in her house.
Milo's clout. Yeah, they were betting on Milo that, if we pour money into Milo, his clout is going to return, his stock will soar again, and he'll bring us all along with him on a magic fucking carpet ride to millions of dollars and tons of followers. It just never fucking happened. And they're bitter about that, and Milo's bitter that they've said shit about him. But, I mean, who really knows what the real source of this fucking feud is? The idea Laura Loomer was it because she was friends with Milo. None of these people are fucking friends with each other.
You don't think she was best friends with Milo?
No, they're all dirty, self-serving snake motherfuckers at the end of the day. It's just retarded to try and pass it off as anything but that. But let's continue on.
Let's see.
It's almost like if you're not calling him on a weekly basis, if you're not pretending that he's relevant, if you're not asking for him for his advice and then trying to quickly forget it, right? Then he somehow imagines that people are all out to get him, or he resents that you're being relevant. You'll watch these passive aggressive things like how he forms a relationship. There's a cozy streamer who's a good friend of mine. Okay. And he's a guy who I introduced to Christ and all that other stuff. And what I'll say is that I watched Milo get close to this guy, or try to get close to this guy, initially get close to this guy, using the same tactics that he used to me. Try to give you advice, passive aggressive, fake confessions. And then it's like, if you leave the guy alone for 3 weeks, he wants to stab you. So I don't wish Milo any harm. I hope that everyone finds redemption. I hope that everyone finds their purpose and lives their purpose. And Milo significantly contributed to the culture of America. There's no doubt about it. His contributions during
and I feel the same way. I don't wish any harm on him.
Significantly contributed.
Well, you could see there's the fear there of Milo at the end there. They're like, we don't wish you any harm, Milo. We're not going to do anything to you, Milo.
They just
leave me alone, Milo.
Smoothed over, right? Oh, Daddy Milo, we're not really upset. Just please let us be on Cozy and Grift and give Nick the blessing, give Ralph the blessing, bring us aboard. If Milo really was irrelevant and a total fucking joke and had no power or any clout behind the scenes at all, they wouldn't have to add that shit in.
They would just want to burn him down and say, go fuck yourself, Milo.
But they did go pretty far as to explaining the pattern of behavior with Milo, that, he comes in, he tries to offer you advice, but it's fake advice, and he's always looking for a fucking favor, and then he'll ask you for it, but he'll never repay the favor. Then he'll start accusing you of shit that he's guilty of to deflect it onto you. They're basically confirming everything Lauren Southern said. And I think they go into that as well. They say, yeah, Lauren was totally right. Broken
Yeah,
Clock
we
is right
played
twice
it.
a day. Yeah. So it's some incredible stuff to behold. And I want to see where this goes from here. Hopefully there's some escalation, some fucking juicy drama going on here, some new developments in the America First sector.
Well, there's one more clip. But who do you think this mysterious groiper is that Ali Alexander and Milo are fighting over behind the scenes for the influence on this mysterious groiper?
Probably it was one of their gay lovers in a fucking love
Well, of course it's a gay. Everybody's gay. Everybody's
Which
gay.
gay lover? Is it Lucian Wintrich? Would you suggest the gay lover is that they're fighting behind?
Well,
the
this
scenes?
is interesting. It's clearly not Nick, which you would think the first choice would be Nick. But who is this other groiper that Ali Alexander is bringing to Christ and is having a spiritual battle over with Milo? I'm just kind of curious. It just kind of seemed out of left field to bring that up in the middle of the conversation and not name a name. I'm kind of curious who that is. I'm sure it'll come out. Here's our last
Let's
clip.
go to the next clip.
Oh, you're crazy, you need help. Well, that's his opinion, right? If he thinks that I'm crazy, right? They say the same thing about Kanye West. They say the same thing about people. Am I a...
Wait a second. Can we just pause it to say that Laura Loomer is comparing herself to Kanye West?
He's on that same level of clout.
Clearly,
He's that
she's Kanye
She's
West.
a household name.
Clearly,
You're a
Kanye West.
fucking Loomer, folks.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Eccentric, right? Sure, yeah, I'm eccentric, right? Am I high energy? Sure, yeah, I'm high energy. Am I everybody's cup of tea? No, I'm not
High
exactly
energy?
everybody's cup of tea. But
What the fuck is she talking about?
She is high
Never
energy.
been high energy one time in her fucking life.
Like he's going around.
Unless she's on a
saying it's- I want these
mode.
lies to stop.
All right, I do have a
Oh, she's
response
she's
from,
manic.
Not
the
everybody's
second
cup of tea.
one in
What is it?
particular.
I
I
gotta
haven't read
ask.
the first.
Whose fucking cup of tea is Laura Loomer? Who is she meant to appeal
Nick's
to?
cup of tea, apparently.
Meant to appeal to. The average groiper sure as shit fucking doesn't like her. There's nothing that's going to be appealing to her, to the average groiper. She's Jewish, she's a woman, she's ugly, she's shrill, she's annoying, she's a Zionist. Do we need to go on? So she's not appealing to the average groiper.
Yeah,
is
but-
she appealing to the average even Republican voter?
Nick needs somebody who's actually running for office, though, who's actually doing a political campaign because his whole thing is a joke.
Do you remember earlier in the year the promises that we were hearing from Nick, and earlier in last year as well? There was going to be a campaign office set up in Florida, and America First headquarters. We're going to run a whole field of America First candidates. We're setting up super
Well,
PACs.
Laura Loomer is the premier candidate for America First now.
She's the only one they ended up running, and she fucking lost her primary.
Well, they
and
pissed
then they
off-
tried to step in on Joe Kent's turf.
Yeah.
Fucking lost that one too. And they prematurely celebrated and then got fucking humiliated by Joe Kent. So the whole thing is just a big fucking joke. Are you telling me they couldn't fucking get like anybody to fucking run for office under?
Well, they tried to court Gosar. That didn't go well. They tried to court Marjorie Taylor Greene. That didn't go well. Actually, all of that blew up directly in their faces, and they look like complete
They all
retards.
got disavowed. They got disavowed. Marjorie Taylor Greene's. I don't know who that is.
I don't even know where I am.
Meanwhile, there's pictures of her with him. Meanwhile, she's speaking favorably about him in clips.
I don't even know where I am.
Like, Gosar comes in because Nick has a big mouth.
Yeah.
Hate this fucking guy. I disavow. So it was a total fucking embarrassment.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. So they have the AFPAC, right? They bring in all these speakers. They have Sheriff Joe Arpaio. They have Stu Peters. All these people. Well, could they really not just get Stu Peters to pay like the registration fee for a Republican primary?
Stu should run
and
for sure.
Fucking Stu Peters or fucking run Vincent James. Vincent James isn't going to run. None of your people that you're grooming. Dalton Clodfelter's not going to stand for office. Fucking Kai Clips isn't going to stand for office. None of these fuckers stood for office in any sort of... What fucking good are they then? It's worthless. Oh, but it's to build towards the future there. Just trust the plan. Nick's surely going to be fucking president. though everything he promises turns out to be fucking lies, and any attempt to get more mainstream just fucking backfires. Don't worry. Any day now, there's going to be a ton of America First candidates elected to office.
Yeah, Laura Loomer.
It all.
The only one left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, let's continue.
One yet. I assume it's pretty acidic. The second one definitely is, and again, these are the words of Milo Yiannopoulos, not me. I want to be clear. He says, "You can tell Loomer," I said, and this is the direct quote part. "Laura has an impeccable track record of failure. Failure to sustain friendships, failure to keep employees, and failure to win elections. Her behavior turns allies into enemies. No one can stand to be around her for long. It's beneath my dignity to debate or converse with her in any fashion.
Imagine being beneath Milo's dignity.
Her at Ralphomania, just two men in the ring, resolving things the old-fashioned way." Is what he said there. And then to Ali Alexander. Now, this is the one I was saying was... he said, and then this is a direct quote. He said, "You can tell Ali, stop having sex with little boys," is what Milo. That's a direct quote from Milo Yiannopoulos. So
it's Milo clearing the pedophiles out of the movement.
Milo really going for blood.
Things, Ralph. So again, Milo has met my adult lovers. I have met past adult lovers
helping
at his
your
parties
case?
and stuff like that. He's aware that he's lying.
Well, first of all, why would you need... I got to pause this. Because he goes, Milo has met my adult lovers. That implies that there are non-adult lovers, right? Why would you have to clarify that?
Why would you quantify it as adult lovers? That's a little
How old is Ali
there,
Alexander? He's got to be pushing, like, he's in his mid-30s to almost 40,
let's
right?
Find out how old Ali Alexander is. He was born in 1984 or 1985. So people don't know his exact age, but he's 37. Let's say
he's 37. Yeah, I wouldn't need to. Yeah, in your 30s, I don't think you need to verify or to quantify that you have adult lovers. I think that should be a given.
It's not like he's like 20 and he's talking about when I was a teenager or shit like this.
Well, maybe he's trying to pull the Fagmenko grift, and he's pretending to be a young college student still, and he's in his mid-30s.
Oh yeah.
Just like he does to Laura, just like he did to me, just like he did to Lucian, and a ton of other people who do not want to be name checked. Okay, just like he did to Mike Ma, just like he did to all of the people.
Listen to these names.
Now, read again what he said about Laura, and then let me ask you, Ralph, what successful business has Milo not ran into the ground? What friendship has Milo kept for longer than 2.5 years? What does Milo have to his name? His books are ghostwritten. So, I mean, it's really clear that, again, he's projecting all of his life's failures onto Laura. And these are two people who acknowledge that Milo changed the entirety of American politics and culture in a way that nobody else ever had. So we can appreciate what Milo did, but we're not going to let him lie or project his own perversities onto everyone else.
And I will say, sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. Sure. I will say, too, that, you know, for him to say that nobody can stand her, nobody likes being around her, all of her employees hate her, all of her staff hate her, that's not true. Right? Maybe there's certain people who do not like me anymore, but, you know, life happens. And, you know, you see certain character traits or certain personality traits in people who you thought were your friends who are no longer your friends. But I certainly have friends. You're my friend, Ralph. I'm friends with Nick. Ali's my friend. You know, if Nick didn't like me, if Nick couldn't stand me, do you think he would have flown out to Florida to attend my election night party? Okay, I have a lot of friends, actually.
Oh, I don't know.
She's got a lot of friends. Nick and Ralph and Ali Alexander.
But I struggle to believe that there's anyone on Earth who genuinely likes Laura Loomer or finds her fascinating as a person or interesting in the slightest. I struggle to believe that there's anyone out there who doesn't just take one look at Laura Loomer and is just immediately repulsed. And when she opens her fucking fat Jewish witch mouth, spews her fucking retarded nonsense, goes, holy fuck. I hate this cunt, and I hope she'd fucking rot in hell and die. She certainly will do both of those
But
things.
she infiltrated Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Oh, that's these big accomplishments.
That was a real.
There from
That
Laura
was.
Loomer.
She wasn't for legitimately trying to get in.
wow.
She infiltrated it.
Oh my
Do you remember that?
God! Infiltrated it. The queen, us queen, slay.
Do you remember Acorn? Do you remember the Acorn bust with the fetuses? I mean, they did that too.
I just think when push comes to shove on this, my prediction is that Milo is going to win out, and that you're going to see. You may not see a public disavowal of Loomer and Ollie Alexander, or them being publicly thrown out, although that may happen. But you'll start to see them just like slowly fizzle out, or very quickly fizzled out and phased out in favor of other people. But right now they're desperate. They're trying to bring in whatever audience they can. It's a total island of fucking misfit toys. Nobody there is an effective operator or a success in any fucking way. And it's just a total fucking joke of a movement. we all have known that for a long fucking time. It's just a continuation of the failure, the slow,
it's tough
fucking train wreck that is the America First fucking movement. Okay, do we have any other clips? Is there one more?
I think that's it. I think
that it. Okay, I want you to pull up this folder on Ali Alexander. I just want to go through these text messages because I've told the story a couple times now about the Lance videos thing, but I do want to provide these receipts so that people can understand who Nick is bringing in to be a part of his movement. Not just a Zionist, Jewish woman who's... It's Laura Loomer, folks. He's also brought in a brown gay pedophile named Ali Snackbar. This is the fucking quality that we're getting at America First. This is the quality of Cozy.tv. This is what they have. Severely lacking. Severely fucking lacking. So we're going to go through this segment, and then I'm going to read out some of the super chats that have come in. If you're unaware, you donate over there. In the top of the chat, it's pinned, dono.chat/PPP.
I have the first one pulled up.
Okay.
So do you want to give context for this?
So this one, is it on my... Are you sharing it to me? Because I don't see it.
I am not sharing it to you, no.
The audience can see it?
The audience can see it. It's pulled up on the stream.
Okay, I'll pull it up on my end here.
I'll pull up I'll pull up 1 and 2. And we'll go through them
well, this is Ollie Alexander Snapchatting Lance videos, who's, I believe, 16 or 17 years old at this time. And Lance is saying anything for fame because he wants to get clout from Ollie. And Ollie goes, send me a snap. He goes, so would you? And Ollie goes, send me a snap. And he goes, show me your penis. It's the eggplant emoji.
Yeah, the eggplant,
Lance, he goes, what's that? And he goes, oh my God, a dick. And, he goes, I'm not a texter, bro. So he's trying to solicit dick pics here. An underage fucking guy. Here he is messaging him again, trying to solicit sexual favors, pretty much. I mean, that's obvious that what's going on here.
I forgot about these.
Let me know if you're ever in Fort Worth. Lance says he lives near Fort Worth. Says, I live in Keller North, most part of Fort Worth. If you're ever bored and want to chill, I'm easily entertained. So this is another instance where this is like a Groyper group chat. And Lance Videos is talking to Kevin Lee in this Groyper group chat. And Kevin says, what's Ollie hypocritical on? People are surprised politicians are pedophiles. And Lance says, well, he's a predator too. Now, if you're a pedophile, I'm going to just assume you're also a predator. But I guess there's a distinction here in Groyper land because they're all so fucked up. Kevin asks, what did he do? And Lance says, he tried to get with me. And Kevin said, are you underage? And Lance goes, he's 34 and I'm 17. There's a lot of that shit that went on at TSAS. And
yes,
he goes, Lance, did you hang out with Caleb and Max at TSAS? And he says, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. He again names Ollie as a pedophile.
Hold on. I'm pulling up 5 and 6.
5 and 6. Yeah, he again here says, He reiterates that Ali is disgusting and he is a pedophile. And then he says, this is David Morales says, all that makes my skin crawl from the shit he said to me. So that's another person that Ali Alexander has made unwanted advances towards. He goes, David, Ali used to say Ali sexual. Did he say that to you as well? And then he goes, Lance, are you an eagle? And no, he just talked about stuff he wanted to do. It was mad gross.
Jeez.
So this is the sort of person that Nick Fuentes is bringing in. Now, Jaden McNeil, to his credit, while he was deep within America First, while he was living in a property that Nick Fuentes owned, was actually courageous enough to try and call this out a bit. And he says, Abdulaziz Alamar, Ali Abdul, Razak Akbar, and Satam al-Sakami, two of these guys hijacked planes on 9/11, and one of them is an anti-white, gay, ugly pedophile. That's what Jaden had to say about Ali Akbar. And this is what Nick has to say. He asked me to give him a little backup. He's the gatekeeper for this event, so I have to play ball, unfortunately. I didn't like it, but honestly, we have to look at the bigger picture here. The bigger picture is, if a pedophile is the gatekeeper of an event, we have to collaborate with this pedophile. He says openly he doesn't like it. He doesn't push back. Yeah, put it on screen for people. He doesn't push back at all. The idea that Ali Akbar is a pedophile or gay or anti-white.
Well, because he's had sex with Ali Alexander. That's why.
That's what's going. They're all blackmailed together in some weird gay fucking sex.
It's weird. Some kind of fetish. It's some kind of weird fetishism or something that I can't really understand. You know.
I think it's fucking nuts. To be honest with you. Nick Fuentes would allow somebody like this back into the movement. Because it's one, and there's the thing, like his defense is, oh, well, we had to do it. He was a gatekeeper for January 6th. In order for us to get to the event, we had to work with him. Now we realize, no, it's beyond that. No, he's bringing him in on Cozy to be a streamer now.
Yeah. Well, Nick was just that was a lover of Nick's, so they had to fall in line. Turns out it's not just... Because I don't think Ali Alexander really has any political weight to him anymore, does he? I mean, he's saying Milo is washed, but does Ali Alexander have any pull? Does he still have connection to the Mercer strings? I mean, what is his pull?
He may have some sort of behind-the-scenes connections or blackmail or something going on, but so far as somebody that's actually going to bring in an audience like that, it's just not the case. It's just fucking wild. Fucking wild. But let's get into some of these super chats here. Green Goblin for $20 says Tardsky back onto Coco. We got Warski Brains Admirer for $50.
$50.
Jub the Sub. It's Jub the Sub here, the new co-host for the show. Lord Aragon for $5. Effing chat for Warski also. And no one wants that IP2 shit, Ashton. Well, there's no IP2 content.
There's no IP2 tonight.
Oh, you're gonna be okay. NI993RH8R 1999. If I can spell it out, what it means, says rest in peace, Safardsky for 10. We got Tired Slav for $20. For Andy to find sobriety and salvation in order to return to the casino. Allowing the DNC to run Fetterman should be a crime. And we got Torn Cosmos for 10. What is this shit? The value brand Kino Casino? Well, time will fucking tell there, folks. There we go. There's some fucking super chats from the first hour. Now, I wanted to move into another segment here. So it's going to be a little bit different. But I know we're coming into November. Some people are calling for a no Ralph November. The traditional thing in November that's come about every year is no FAP November. You're not supposed to masturbate during the month of November to get your masculinity up. And I found a guru that can advise us all on the benefits of semen retention. He calls himself general of the Semen Retention Army, and actually ran for the People's Party of Canada in the most recent elections. He stood as a candidate for the more right-wing party in Canada. His name is Nakula Das, I think is how it's pronounced. I don't fucking know. But I wanted to pull up this video, Nakula Das. It's about the hidden power of semen. All of you can understand that the true power that your semen has, so you don't give away your seed.
The only person I've heard talk about this is Smiley the Fed, talking about conserving his vril by not masturbating or ejaculating in any way.
Fuck.
It gives you special powers, I guess. It's a Nazi thing.
We're gonna save the world through semen retention, my brother. Just have faith. By the way, I just love that all of these masculinity gurus are all bald with fucking like beards.
Well, his head is very phallic. I mean, it's an incredibly phallic
But
head.
you got like Andrew Tate. Like Tate doesn't have a beard, I suppose. He does. He does like the goatee and shit, right? You got like Jack Murphy, Andrew Tate, all these motherfucking masculinity gurus. They always have a beard. They're always fucking bald. I love this guy's got the faggot nose ring in too. Holy shit! All right, let's hear what he has to say about semen retention here and the hidden power.
The hidden power.
Video, I'm going to share with you the hidden power of semen and why every man right now needs to stop messing around and start practicing semen retention. Our world depends on you.
The world depends on you not fucking coming.
Hi, my name is Nakula Das, and I help men master their sexual energy so they can become powerhouses both in and outside the bedroom. Go to the description below, register for my upcoming webinar, Sex Mastery 101, to learn the tools and the techniques of sexual alchemy. You can get started right away by taking the free ejaculation control guide, where I'm going to share with you a 10-minute routine that you're going to do over the next 7 days to be able to...
The free ejaculation control guide? What the fuck does the ejaculation control guide entail? I'm going to sign up for it. It's free. And it was sexual alchemy. You're going to turn your cum into gold there, folks. We're going to learn here. It's more valuable than gold.
Well, didn't the old alchemists in the Middle Ages, they tried to create like people out of semen, like homunculi? Maybe that's what we're going to learn. That's what this is all about.
Like a year ago, like a homunculus experiment where some guy jizzed in a jar and tried to turn it into a living
with dirt
creature.
and stuff and gold and iron, and then you tried to create a creature. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. All right, let's continue here with Nakula.
To hold your ejaculation and harness the power of semen.
Isaac Newton did that.
Semen, like every other aspect of your body, has a higher nature to it. So we have a physical body, but we also have a spiritual body. What most people don't realize is that their physical body is in direct reflection of their spiritual body, meaning a strong body, a strong mind, you're cultivating a strong energy or spirit. Your job in the human form of life is to concentrate your mind within yourself and develop a strong spiritual body. Semen is the most potent of your energies on the physical level. One sperm cell has the ability to ignite in the right feminine atmosphere an entire being. It has the power to multiply one cell into trillions of cells that become an entire life. Well, harnessing that by holding it within you, what ends up happening is this semen gets transformed. It gets cultivated. See, nature is not wasteful. Nature is efficient. Nature uses everything. And because you're holding your semen,
where'd you find
this semen gets absorbed back into your body.
I knew him as a
and by
People's Party
nature's
candidate.
design, transforms it into
years.
ojas or into spiritual power
What's
or into
ojas?
spiritual energy.
What the fuck is ojas?
Why every man right now needs to be practicing semen retention is because right now the world is going through a tremendous transformation and most guys are getting lost in the mix. Social anxiety, low testosterone, laziness, no ambition, and a lack of ability to fight. Now, why am I speaking about an ability to fight? Well, right now, there is a major coup happening in the world. There is a new world order that's being formed, and it's been happening for years. But right now, we are living through a time period where this coup is actually happening, where the world has never, we've seen it happen in different countries, but never have we seen it happen at this world level, this great reset. This great reset is going to restrict freedoms for human beings all over the world. And fellas, it's up to us. If you're subdued, if you're lazy, if you've got no ambition, how is it that you're going to defend your family, your friends, your community? Semen retention is going to take your power back from all of the distractions and all of the ways that the powers to be have distracted you, have stole your energy from you. And it's going to bring it right back to you, where you're going to have a sense of duty and a sense of personal
crazy
power.
Fucking bastard is actually fucking telling us that the way to stop the New World Order, the Great Reset, the plans that are in place by the global elite that are beyond our comprehension and control, is to just stop fucking, stop masturbating. If you just stop coming, then somehow the New World Order elite will be defeated. Their plan with the vaccine, people just won't take it anymore. You know, people are going to rise up. They just have to stop coming. Holy fuck.
It just doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. How are you going to be this amazing sexual partner and all this stuff if you're not ejaculating? You're
not supposed. Well, how can you be a sexual partner if you don't come?
I don't know.
I guess you just get your partner. I guess you just master eating pussy. You just become the pussy eating fucking master. That's the sexual god that you become. Why would you want to become a sexual god if you can't come?
It doesn't make any sense.
The whole sales pitch is fucking
I'm speechless.
insane. It's crazy. But listen, our semen, it's the most powerful agent out there because it can create a life. So if you just hold on to it, it's not as though it doesn't just get like pissed out or reabsorbed. No, it's gonna make you a better
It's
man.
going to make you a wizard. Yeah.
Listen, to be fair, there are studies to suggest that if you weren't to masturbate or come for 7 days, there would be a peak of your testosterone on the 7th day. But then
Right.
it goes back to baseline. That's at least what I fucking heard and read. This guy is telling you to practice full-on semen retention for your whole fucking life. But it's going to get even better. Let's play out the rest of this.
This is an
And then his next
evolution of
clip,
the whole, if you stay a virgin until you're 30, you'll become a wizard, you know? This is a complete evolution of that.
And in this way, we can fight this great coup, this great reset that's happening. So in my opinion, I strongly advise you to take up the practice of semen retention and sexual alchemy. It is going to make you a whole new man. And that means things are going to change for you, and things are going to ignite for you in a way that they've never done before. And you're going to have the clarity, the strength, the courage, and the willpower to stand against this great reset and this violation of human rights and freedoms. Go register right away for the free ejaculation control guide. This is no longer just about you, but this is literally about men becoming more men, taking back our masculinity, not because of women, but because we've allowed it to happen.
I don't
and learning to become the providers and protectors that nature designed you to be. Go register for the webinar. Go start on the free ejaculation control guide. I'll see you in the next video.
Wear a chastity cage to be the man in the relationship.
How do you fucking make it happen there? Now, I did get a donation here I thought was interesting from Captain Titus Frost. He says, Laura Loomer worked with Jacob Wall in the past.
Yes.
Jacob Wall has taken money from Ghislaine Maxwell. Cheers from Captain Titus Frost. The QAnon sect. He says they run the net. I don't know about all that QAnon stuff, but I'm pretty sure what he's saying there is accurate.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
All makes sense. They're all just involved in some weird pedophile gay shit over there at cozy.tv. But anyway, I want you to pull up this next clip of this guy.
Yeah.
And it's this one is where he
like
really
you're breathing
goes.
with your test.
Yes.
I feel like you're breathing. Yeah, bring it back to the beginning and just play it.
You want to feel like you're breathing with your testicles. When you learn how to do deep testicle breathing, you're able to move your sexual energy, whether aroused or non-aroused, and rechannel it.
Do you move your PPP?
Your spine
Do you
or up the
move your
microcosmic
testicles
orbit.
when you breathe?
I'm going to show you how to do it in this video.
I'm gonna show you how to breathe through your
Hi, my
testicles,
name is Nakula
man.
Daz, and I help men master their sexual energy so they can become a powerhouse both in and outside the bedroom. I'm about to teach you a technique that's going to help you never ejaculate again. If you're interested in learning more sexual alchemy techniques, then join me in my upcoming webinar. Check out the description below. You can register there for free.
That sounds like
you can
hell.
get a sample of the
Sounds like
sexual
hell on
alchemy
earth.
training and lifestyle and decide whether it's for you or not. In this exercise, you're going to be working with the microcosmic orbit and deep testicle breathing. Testicle breathing is when you when you breathe deeply into your testicles. So we can imagine that most of us breathe very shallow, unconscious breaths from our chest. If you pay attention to how most people breathe, that's how they're breathing. What you want to do, in yoga, we say short breath, short life, right? Long breath, long life. You want to fill your body with as much oxygen as possible. So learning to do deep breathing, where you're breathing in your belly, and then in sexual alchemy, we go even further and say, let's breathe deeply into the testicles. And you can imagine that your testicles are expanding as you take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, they're contracting. You want to be sitting upright like I am. I'm sitting in a chair. You could be sitting cross-legged on the floor. You could be doing this standing or lying down, whatever makes sense for you. And you want to start with this movement. Deep testicle breathing. And so as you inhale, you imagine your testicles are expanding, gathering energy. You can imagine that energy is gathering.
Have you tried this, Ashton?
And then as you exhale, the testicles contract.
Is that why you were watching
and
this?
the energy condenses within your testicles. So you're breathing in, expanding, collecting energy from the ether, from the space around you, and contracting back into your testicles, almost condensing that. You could even spiral it with your mind's eye if you can. Now, at first, you may not be feeling anything. You may be thinking, am I just imagining this? Am I doing this with my mind? And at first you are. Yes, you are just doing it with your mind. But the mind follows certain energetic patterns, meaning your mind doesn't just travel whimsically. Wherever your mind is, that's where you're putting your energy. So therefore, by expanding your mind and contracting your mind, your energy is actually doing the same. And as you continue to practice and become more meditative, you'll actually feel the tangible energy doing it. So much where it won't feel like a mental exercise, but you'll be working with your energy directly, okay? But that takes practice. So depending where you're at, let's breathe in, exhale, and contract that energy. Keep doing that as I set up the next portion of the move. The next thing I want you to do is, as you're doing that, I want you to place the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. At the roof of your mouth is the end of the fire channel, which is your back energy channel. It's one half of the microcosmic orbit. It starts at the testicles, goes up and around the anus, up around the spine. This aligns with the 7 chakras of the Indian yoga system. And it ends at the roof of the mouth. At the tip of the tongue ends the water channel, which is the front channel, which again, you could start at the bottom of the testicles, comes up and around the testicles, up the front channel, all the way up to the tip of the
Ejaculate
tongue.
out of your tongue.
By connecting the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, you're now closing this full body circuit. This is the circuit that you need to learn how to move energy through and retrain your body to redirect your semen upwards so that you can never ejaculate again, experience full body orgasms and multi-body orgasms.
Oh, hold on.
Only when your channels are open.
Pause it. What you need to do is start breathing through your testicles to a 7 chakra loop from your fucking testicles, the tip of the fucking roof of your mouth with your tongue, and then that will somehow, through the meditative energy properties of the brain cause your semen to flow upward in your body.
Yeah, to your tongue.
Which is something I don't even think is possible. I don't think that's like. Is that medically possible?
Is that medically possible? No, that's not medically
Dr.
possible.
Jubb, can you explain like the formation of semen and how that all works?
The formation of semen through meiosis in your testicles? You want me to explain
is this
that?
based in any form of science
No.
or anything at all?
No, it's
How
not
does
based
it
in any form of science. How does semen form?
Yeah, and can it flow upward? Like, what does he mean by this?
No, it can't
Surely
flow
this
upwards.
is the case.
If you don't use it, it is recycled by the body back, into parts, I suppose.
You're saying Chris Chan was onto something then.
Yeah, well, Chris Chan always saved it in his Fanta bottles. And
we see how it worked out for him. He became
yeah.
very masculine.
Doesn't really work that way.
He retained it though. But if it leaves your body and then you retain it by recycling, is that the same as retaining it altogether? Or is that what he went wrong, and instead
That's
of
where he
boosting
went
his
wrong for sure,
masculinity
yeah.
tenfold, it led to him becoming a fucking tranny? Okay.
Yeah, he masturbated way too much.
I see. Well, let's see where he's going with this. You know, we're learning a whole lot, breathing through our testicles, causing the semen to go
I
up,
still
we'll
want to know
never
how you
ejaculate
found
again.
this. I'm perplexed by this. I just
open and vibrant, and that energy is trained to flow upwards, will that happen? If not, you'll continuously want the urge to ejaculate. This exercise actually slowly over time subdues and eventually takes away the urge to ejaculate, because when you learn to move your sexual energy upwards, it feels so good in the body that it itself is orgasmic and satisfying. And with that, you don't want to ejaculate. You don't want to let that energy go. And then as you move that
So the whole cope is you'll have a body orgasm instead of you won't ejaculate. You'll just have a body orgasm. And this is going to fix your entire life?
Yes.
energy up, it transmutes into your body. And when you're outside of any sexual activity, all that vibrant, rich, powerful energy is vibrating through you, and you put that into your work, and you put that into your projects, and you put that into your workouts and your athleticism and whatever, your creativity. As you learn to move it up and circle it through the brain, which we're about to do, you're nourishing your brain with sexual energy, which makes it vibrate at a higher frequency, allowing you to pick up more inspired thoughts and creative genius. Many artists give their sexual practices credit. They credit their art because of their sexual practices. Sting, the famous singer, being one of them, based upon his tantric practices.
Who does this?
All right, so you're breathing.
You're still Sting is apparently inspired musically by not having sex.
That's just not the fucking case. I mean, he's doing some freaky, weird tantric sex shit in order to be inspired by his sex for his music. There's not any musician out there who's getting inspired by semen retention. This is just not the fucking case. This is whack.
Well, this is Sting. You could be Sting if you just don't ejaculate ever again. You could be Sting. I'm gonna have to try. I mean, I don't know. It is No Fap November. Maybe we should try this. But maybe we'll become like Einstein or something if we just don't ejaculate for a few weeks.
Attracting that energy, you can use your hands to guide you, to guide the mind. And now the tip of your tongue is placed to the roof of your mouth. I can already feel the tingling in the testicles. Now you want to imagine that there is a tube starting at the bottom of the testicles and running up behind, around your anus, up your spine, all the way up your back to the crown of your head.
The semen's going into your brain.
So you're breathing in and expanding. And then when you exhale, as you exhale, move that energy with your mind, and you can use your hands to guide you up and around your back, all the way up the spine, neck, all the way to the crown of your head. And then when you get to the crown of your head, you could take your hands above your head and just circulate that energy 3 times to the right.
Do you know that movie
And then
From
3
Beyond
times
with
to the
Jeffrey
left.
Combs?
Oh, I do not.
A couple little tips that if you're having
So,
trouble...
hold on, let me pause.
Is this that?
Yeah. So
Never seen anything
this,
quite like
this reminds me of the movie From Beyond with Jeffrey Combs, where they have to go into the machine and it stimulates, it allows them to see into another dimension, and it stimulates their pineal gland. And at the end of the movie, Jeffrey Combs' pineal gland grows so large, it becomes like a penis and shoots out of the front of his head. And he becomes, he's filled with energy, and then he actually has to consume human flesh. But this is what it's reminding me of, is the movie From Beyond, where and they're like super sexually charged. All they want to do is have sex in this movie. Really good movie. I recommend it. Good for Halloween.
Feeling like your testicles or
From Beyond.
anchoring your awareness into your testicles, you can always take your hand
Your
and massage your
awareness is in your
testicles to give it a
testicles.
physical sensation.
Massage your
Eventually, you won't need that, but at the beginning, that's a technique you can use. And using your hands to guide you up the back channel, the fire channel to the crown, is really good at the beginning to guide your mind. Eventually, you will feel that energy actually moving up the spine. Remember, as you're retaining your semen, and if you're practicing nofap, then you have all of this raw energy, this raw semen, this sexual energy sitting in your testicles. And for most guys, it becomes stagnant there. They don't move it anywhere. So eventually they relapse because they want to get rid of that energy. And because you've trained that the only way to get rid of that energy is through the penis, you essentially go to ejaculate, or it moves you towards ejaculation. But as you do this meditation and you relearn to train that semen to flow upwards, and what happens is, as the body retains the semen for long periods of time, that semen eventually gets refined into more and more light or gas-like energy, ojas in Ayurveda, or spiritual power energy. And this is what you're moving. You can tangibly feel it.
gas.
It feels like
It gets
vapor,
converted
cool
into,
water coming all the way up the spine to the crown of the head, circling
Gets
it. You can
converted
feel
to
the
gas.
bioelectricity like going around. It's really cool and orgasmic, but you have to practice to get into that space of feeling that that energy.
Holy fuck.
All right, so you're continuing to breathe. Inhale, expand the testicles.
I'm
Exhale,
completely confused by
testicles
this.
contract, and we move the energy up the back channel. All
Does
the
this
way
guy
up the
have a lot of
spine,
followers?
Feeling that
Is
tingling
this guy like? Is this
sensation,
guy
that
big?
heat,
Oh,
or that
he
cooling
doesn't.
energy? It's a little bit different for
he
everybody.
Do you think he's made
Into
any
the
money off
brain,
of this?
Circling it 3
Well,
times,
I don't know what else he fucking does. No,
and then to the left 3 times. It's really
Gotta
cool
be
when you get the
making stuff off
sensations.
it.
It's
Maybe he's
amazing.
running for office.
And then you realize how powerful where it truly is, wherever your mind is, energy is. Like,
How
there'll be
did
no
this man
doubt.
not win
This is why
his
spiritual
campaign?
realization
How
is
did
a
he not
natural
win the
aspect of
race?
semen retention. The more energy you have in your body and the more that's flowing through you, you become the witness to that energy. You recognize, oh, I am the spiritual consciousness. I am the consciousness that has a certain, the Sanskrit word is Ishvara, control, right? You have certain control and mastery over
An
your
ascended being.
psychophysical apparatus, the body-mind. All right, so you want to keep doing that. Now, to feel it a little bit more, you can add also a pelvic floor squeeze to the breath. So you breathe in, you exhale.
Are you trying this?
And when you exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor like you had to take
All right,
a
do you
pee,
want me to
and
try
see
to
if you can
squeeze
actually
my pelvis, my perineum?
I teach certain practices in my course, how to become a sexual alchemist, to help strengthen the different muscles of the pelvic floor.
You want me to try to
but
do
there
this?
is an isolated muscle towards the anus. If you can squeeze that back muscle, that's really what you're going for.
Yeah, you
But
know
at the
when you
beginning,
squeeze your
like you're
butthole
taking a
shut?
pee, you're just going to squeeze
That's
that
what he's
whole
talking about.
area. Squeezing the whole area works, but as you get just to the back muscle, the back muscle helps shoot that energy. It's like a pump.
Yeah,
and so
I think. Are you going to start making me squeeze my asshole on stream? Is that what we're going
That's
to
what
do?
you do in your spare time anyway to get off. So No, it's not a fucking surprise you'd be doing it on the fucking stream as well. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, let's go to the big Ralph. I don't know if it could get any gayer, but it's about to, because we're going to award Ralph a big W here. We're going to award Ralph a W here. We're going to his Roger Stone interview.
Okay.
Like, his intro here he gives is fantastic. Fantastic shit. Just a surreal development that Ralph got Roger Stone on this week.
This is actually Ralph celebrating after the interview, I believe. But it's a good opener anyway. Are we ready?
I guess the money should have changed them. I guess I should have forgot where I came from.
I wonder when Gator will be interviewing Roger Stone.
Oh, Gator felt it. Gator Bros.
I wonder when Teddy Feaser is gonna get that Stone interview. You can't tell me nothing, bitch.
Poor Gator.
Yeah. He's destroyed. So hype.
You can't blame him,
Jim
right?
and Jim will be talking about their favorite anime.
Oh, Jim Bros.
By the way, Gator is legitimately seething. He didn't say shit about it. He knew how bad I wanted to get Stone on the show. And he's like a fucking, he used to be in College Republican. Stone's like one of his idols. Sorry, bitch. Sorry, bitch. Some of us are prime time. Some of us are main event. Some of us aren't.
Poor Gator. If he would have just stayed, he could have got to interview Roger Stone.